Full moon in Libra, April 5th or 6th, depending on where you're at. And eclipse season is starting. I love eclipse seasons. I love the leaps and bounds that we can make in our life. I love the realignment that comes. I love the unfoldings of soul calling, soul purposes, higher truths, the releasing of karma that can happen during eclipse season. And it's all starting now. The first eclipse, there's 2 eclipses during this season. The first eclipse happens, I've got dates for you, hold on. First eclipse happens on April 19th. Second one happens on May 5th, right? I'm talking currently about the full moon that happens just before that new moon that kicks off eclipse season. But it's warming up, it's open, that portal's open, that doorway's open. There's a lot happening with the nodes. Eclipses have to do with the nodes of fate, destiny, right? Your true north, your highest potential. Let me feel for a moment. I want to just hold this thread of let this conversation serve, right? I want to really bring you whatever it is that most serves this conversation, that most serves this moment. And maybe if you hold that intention too, that'll help of let me receive that which most serves. Like, let me hear, because sometimes I know we don't hear 100% of the things that get shared in conversations like this. But if you just kind of turn the dial, hold that intention, your own intention, to let me receive that which is really meant for me, right? Let me hear that which is really meant for me. That may help with what this video does for you, what it brings to you, what it opens for you or inspires in you. I want to go for it in this conversation because this is our last astrology video. Yeah, we might do a special on like Lionsgate or something coming out, but this is our last new moon or full moon astrology video. And that's pretty big. That's pretty big. We've been doing this for a while. And it's a big move and it's incredibly perfectly timed. Maybe I'll weave in, just take a quick moment to feel into what serves our conversation here. I think I'm starting to talk about the eclipses and them coming up a little bit because it's like I want to give you some things to feel into for the whole month, because we won't be showing up on the next new moon on the 19th, and we won't be showing up on May 5th on that full moon that is the eclipse. And so I'm kind of just holding this conversation to, yeah, of course, talk about this full moon, but also kind of hold the bigger picture. So you've got, a couple of weeks of practices or of things, journal prompts. I want to give you some real tangible stuff, rituals that you can feel into to support yourself through eclipse season. First thing and the greatest thing that I can share with you around eclipse season is do some soul work, do some soul journeying, do some like true north work, do some altered states of consciousness that allow you to access soul, right? Whatever that is for you, wherever that is for you, whatever that is for you, work that true north line, right? That's the nodes of fate. This whole time, these next 6 weeks, like working the nodes of fate. South node, that's past life karmic territory. We have a possibility of dropping so much karmic baggage during eclipse seasons, right? And this one is a big mama of eclipse seasons because Pluto is in the mix. Pluto's squaring these nodes, adding deep transformation, death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth, and empowerment. Like really and truly a lot of power. Authentic soul power, right? Soul power, it's aligned with the nodes, it's soul power to be unlocked, unleashed, right? Like where are we? Here, feel into this for a moment. This is so Plutonian and this will be part of this eclipse season. Where are we using energy, life force, to hide something, to repress something, to oppress something, to keep the lid on, to keep something swept under the carpet, right? What parts of self are we ashamed of, embarrassed of, that it's taking energy to keep those parts of self down, And this is a moment in time where if we can find the spaces, right, and the practices and give ourselves the time to release these parts. It's like setting these parts of self free that we've kept locked in the basement. Like parts of you, like I know for me, parts of my sexuality, I kept locked in the basement for a long time. When I opened the door to that, the amount of vitality and energy and aliveness that came, and never mind the fact that it deepened me into my true self, right? The amount that came with that, it was like opening the floodgates. And really all it was, whoa, I'm actually just accepting this part of my sexuality, or like wild woman, wild man. Feel into that. Accepting parts of your wildness that maybe society said like, hey, you better tuck that one away. And so you tuck that one away, but in the tucking away, you're actually, one, locking up that energy, you're blocking it, you're locking it down, and you're taking additional energy away from your life force, right? You're taking additional energy to keep that lid on it. Isn't that wild? I'm gonna swear, isn't that fucking wild? Like, to me, feel into this practice. It is just, if you were to imagine yourself on a volcano or a geyser. For some reason, the geyser has been both actually lately have been really powerful, but I like switching between water and fire, water and fire, water and fire for me, but you feel for you what element it is. And do this practice of letting the volcano erupt upwards in your body, right? You don't even have to think about this. You don't have to think about this. This is how beyond the mind that we can go during this moment in time. I mean, all the time, but really now the doors are wide open. Eclipse seasons make spiritual practices. It's like spiritual practices on crack without having to take crack, right? Without having to take additional substances. It's like literally you're just fueled. Every spiritual practice is really, really fueled during eclipse windows. Let me feel for a second. I'm getting sidetracked here, but let me go back to this practice of just feel into, I want to unleash the power within myself. I want to unleash my life force. I want to unlock and unleash the energy that I have locked away. I mean, it's yours. It's yours. We all do it. We've been taught to do it since we were little kids. The whole world does it. We all do it. And you want to start in the pelvic region. You want to start down there. That's where the power's at. It's in the pelvis. So get right into the pelvis. Get right into the hips. Get right into the pelvis. First, second, third chakras. Ole mole, right? Make sure that you are doing this in a safe space though. Safe space, and just work with the raw energy of it. Raw energy, raw energy, raw energy, raw energy. Give yourself a way to let it come out in raw form. Hold yourself in a safe and sacred container with some boundaries. I will not hurt myself. I will not hurt other people. I will not break anything. Some of you might be listening to me like, what the heck is this? We're literally talking about releasing primal life force energy. It's not dangerous at all, at all. When held in a safe, sacred container, it just needs to be held in a safe, sacred container, especially if it's been locked away for a good long time. If it's been locked away for a good long time, it can come with a lot of emotions, right? It can come with a lot of rage, right? Rage that it's been locked away. Rage that we've denied ourselves our true self. Rage that we've had to hide. Rage that I had to deny my sexuality. Rage, right? Rage. So find healthy, constructive ways to move. And we're in Aries season, right? Aries, fire, 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 fire. Aries, warrior. That's going to bring up rage, right? We've got Chiron conjunct the sun in Aries during this full moon on the 5th, 6th. That's insane. That's a lot of fire. That's a lot of fire. Chiron, wounded healer in Aries, conjunct the sun. Whooshka. So just this practice alone can also support wounded healer evolution, right? Wounded healer, and all that comes with that. Let me just feel. Yeah, so you can literally just take yourself, imagine there's a geyser underneath you or a volcano, or, I mean, you could work with the element of air, you could work whatever you feel like working with. Gold, you could do gold, you could do violet flame, you could do Kali sacred flame, you could do whatever you're called to. Just trust your truth. They all have different flavors, but you trust you. This is about your wisdom. So you feel for you, and you like whatever that element is that most serves you in the moment right now. For me, it's like a tornado. That's what it would be. It would be a tornado, just a spiraling tornado that would come right up through my system. And that to me is what would set things free, unlock parts of myself, unleash things. We always hold it in this intention, serving the highest good, serving the highest good, serving the highest good, serving your highest good. And when it serves your highest good, genuinely serves your highest good, not bullshitting ourselves that we're serving our highest good, but it genuinely serves your highest good, you are literally serving the highest good of the all of everything, always. So you just hold that intention. Hold it. I am doing this in the highest good of the all of everything, right? Help me to release, unleash, unlock whatever soul juice, soul fire, soul power, life force, aliveness, Shakti, Kundalini, whatever the heck we want to call it. Help me to wake that up. Help me. This is a time of great awakenings, great Kundalini awakenings, great spiritual awakenings. These next 6 weeks, if there was ever a time that you were going to go on a spiritual retreat, that you were going to work with Shakti or work with Kundalini, right? Which is just spiritual wisdom in your body. It's life force wisdom, right? If you were ever going to work with sacred powers, sacred forces, sacred energies, in an embodied way. I want to really stress this too, in an embodied way. The nodes, the north nodes in Taurus, that's embodied, right? That's where we're headed to. That's future visions. This eclipse season, it's bringing Taurus, embodied. But it's like spiritual wisdom embodied. South node is in Scorpio, unconscious. Where have we unconsciously locked away our power? Scorpio is power, like power dynamics, unconscious, like, and really, it's like sanctifying unconscious power. You literally make the power that maybe was locked away and distorted because we repressed our sexuality. It's literally become sacred sexuality. All of it. Everything that we associate with power, we just have this capacity to make it sacred. Isn't that fucking great? That's amazing. It's part of what Pluto is doing, squaring these nodes. So during the eclipse and over the next couple of months, I think into June, Pluto will be squaring the nodes of fate. So the north node and the south node, right? Stunning. Death, rebirth, transformation, power, unconscious, right? All for your highest good, all for your highest good, all for your highest good. And I really want to encourage you to work consciously with it, to really do some shadow work, do some north node work. If you don't know how to do it, do our shadow work workshop, do our eclipse workshop. Both are open until the 5th. They're only open until the final eclipse. So right now to the 5th, they're open. And because this is our last astrology video and I love you all, we've got Astro20 as a coupon code, so you can save 20% on either of those or both of them. If you're called to them, if you're like, I don't know how to work shadow work, Sabrina, I don't know how to work eclipse. Here's what people have said about both of these workshops. Oh my God, Sabrina, you literally gave away the house in a $47 workshop. You literally gave me something that if I just did this one thing the whole of my life, I don't have to do anything else ever again. That's these two workshops. One is working your north node, highest potentials, highest purposes. Second is working the shadow. All the stuff that's blocking you from doing that. Stunning. I love them. And they're $47 plus with the 20% off, whatever. That's like $37 for a work. It's crazy. You get lifetime access. They're great. It's one way of working, right? You feel what's true for you, of course. But if there was a time, I'm telling you what, for myself personally, this is a time where I know that extra practice, I know that really devoting time to my own spiritual practice is essential for my soul's path, my growth. I know that that is one of the greatest things that I can be doing over the next couple of weeks, is really devoting time, and it's devoting time to more, for me personally, more juice flowing through me. More juice flowing through me. More widening the bandwidth of the amount of Shakti that can flow through me. Widening the bandwidth of the amount of grace that can descend into me. You can just feel into that practice if that's something that you really want to do. And you've been hearing me talk about dragon energy, right? And this the descending, the ascending of the grace in the form of consciousness that descends, grace in the form of life force that ascends. You could say divine masculine, descends, divine feminine, rises. Those terms seem to mess people up a lot. But anyways, Shiva Shakti, whatever, consciousness, life force, whatever we want to call it. If that's singing to you, right, we've got that in-person retreat happening. It's full, doors are closed, that thing's happening a few days before eclipse. A few days before eclipse, right? It's going like the 13th to the 16th. Eclipse happens on the 19th. We're going to hold a space for our community, and I've created workshops called the Dragon Sessions so that anyone can journey into that energy with us at home, right? With us at home. That's kind of the deep dive offering during eclipse season. And of course you get lifetime access to it, but we're going to hold a space just before this eclipse season, just before the first of the eclipse's peak. So from the 13th to the 16th, we're holding here, Dragon Sessions. You can dive into this energy with us. We'll put details below. It may or may not be posted by the time you watch this video. We'll see. We're working on it. I just created that whole journey. All of those workshops are filmed. They're there. We're just creating the members area and kind of putting that together. So that's deep dive, but there's shadow workshop, there's eclipse workshop, and then there's the Dragon Sessions. I would do all three because I know that this is the time, right? This is the time. The doors are open. We are plugged in, and we are able to go places that we may not be able to access at other times during this year, at any other time during this year. But that's me. You feel for you what's true for you. Okay, let me feel into what serves this moment. I want to talk a little bit about the shadow. That's the word that keeps popping into my head is shadow. Pluto, shadow, working in this unconscious territory, South Node in Scorpio. I want to talk about Pluto as in God of the underworld, the gifts of the dark masculine. We don't talk about this enough. We don't give this enough space. In my humble opinion, we don't work in that territory enough. There are enormous and intense and very, very powerful gifts that dark masculine unlocks in all of us, right? So dark masculine as in Pluto or Hades can unlock in all of us. And this just being a very, very loud energy at the moment, I'd love to give you a few things to feel into. So let me see. Dark masculine has this capacity to penetrate into, right? Masculine is penetration, consciousness. So it's grace in the form of consciousness. So it's pure grace, it's pure light in the form of consciousness, has this capacity to take consciousness right into the places that make you squirmy. The places that you want to hide away, the places that you want to sweep under the carpet, pretend like you don't really love that. This is very powerful territory. This unlocks enormous potential in us when we work in these places, right? Yeah. So feel into this. And sometimes it really takes like deep diving into altered states of consciousness to get here because it's very deeply buried. We bury this stuff, but it will be much more accessible during this eclipse season. So just feeling into if a benevolent being were to be standing right in front of you and staring right at something that you really deeply desire or crave or long for, but you are very uncomfortable and you do not want to admit it. Like you do not want to speak it. You don't want anyone to see it. You don't want to confess to it. You do not. You just do not. Like, you keep that tucked away in the corner. And it's oftentimes around, this will sound wild, what it is that will allow you to come into your full potential and your full power. And it's not what you think it's going to be, right? So let's say you crave, we'll just use a real, let's say you crave anal sex. I know this sounds crazy. Sounds crazy. And you're like, what the heck? Where are we going here, Sabrina? I'm just making it a tangible one, this random example. But let's say, and that's like the dark fantasy. And you're like, I don't do it. I don't want to do it. I want to stay away from it. But I can't help but like fantasize about it. Okay, what if that act unlocks your root chakra, which unlocks your psycho-spiritual power, which then unlocks a spiritual gift, which unlocks a sacred calling that serves the entire world. And it's not even that you are really craving the actual act of anal sex. That's just how it's showing up, because that's the only way that your mind can comprehend what the heck it is that your soul is actually wanting to do. So it just plants in pleasure here, pleasure here, pleasure here, pleasure here, pleasure here, pleasure here, pleasure here. And until you go there, right? Until you go there, you won't unlock this thing that unlocks this thing, which unlocks this. Can you see this? This is the breadcrumb trail. The breadcrumb trail, your soul's breadcrumb trail, your true north. Follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. Why do we put bliss in this like pink unicorn fluffy bunny category? Bliss? Follow your deep, dark pleasure. That's what this full moon's calling for. And that's what this eclipse season is calling for. Follow your deep, dark pleasure and bring fucking love to it, and grace and acceptance and unconditional love, right? You will unlock things in you. You will heal things. You will shift things. You will move mountains. You will awaken gifts and psycho-spiritual powers that you never thought possible. That's Pluto. That's the dark masculine. That's the gift of Hades. That's the gift of the dark masculine right there. It is incredibly powerful. Very few humans on this planet wield that energy with purity, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of purification to wield. That is a lot of power. That is a lot of consciousness. It's a lot of focus, right? And it's a lot of love. It requires unconditional love to actually wield that consciousness energy, because you wield it with love. You literally look at someone's most shameful place, right? Their most embarrassing place, their most shameful place, with nothing but love and full acceptance. Can you feel that? That's a healing force to be reckoned with. That's the dark masculine. Same thing for the dark feminine, different capacities, right? Different ways, different capacities that she'll do it. But it's from that place. It's crazy powerful. Crazy powerful. That's this eclipse season. So I think we want to work in it. I think we want to do some shadow work. I think we want to do some eclipse work. I think, I'm just gently recommending that we just get the most that we can out of these next 6 weeks. I mean, really, there is a lot to be gained in these next 6 weeks. But you have to choose. You've got to choose, right? If you put your awareness to it, you put your focus on it, you put your life force to it, that's when the big stuff happens. But you have to choose. You have to choose. You could just go, la, 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 I don't know, la, 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 oh, it's eclipse season, la, 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 let me just bury my head in the sand, la, la, la. No. Bring your consciousness, your own consciousness, which is just your focus, your intention, your attention, and your life force, your body, your juice, your love, your aliveness, right? You bring energy, right? Energy, focus, and flow. Where attention goes, energy flows, right? Where energy goes, attention, where energy flows, attention goes. But like simultaneously, and you just, oh, I'm telling you, this moment in time is pregnant with potential. Do it, open. It's your potential. It's no one else's. It's your power. It's your vitality. It's your aliveness. It's your awakenings. It's your next level of greatest evolution ever. I just far out. Just go for it, right? Go for it. Let me feel for a moment. I want to feel into what serves the moment, what serves the moment, what serves the moment. CHIRON, I want to talk a little bit more about him. CHIRON, shamanic medicine man. Feeling into that. Shamanic medicine man. Conjunct the sun, that's a masculine energy. The sun on a full moon, that's illuminating, right? It's illuminating. Shamanic medicine man. Shamanic medicine man comes with wounds, but the wounds are what guides him. The wounds are what also help to steer the ship. So if we talk about destiny and follow your deepest pleasure, right? Follow your bliss and follow your deepest pleasure. Also, in that destiny piece is follow where you're called in order, right, to support whatever karma it is that you came in with, right? I came in with a lot of karma, a lot of family lineages, a lot of past life stuff around sexuality, right? And we could say very easily that that's my kind of chironic for me, right? It's kind of chironic for me. But here's the thing. Because I was called to work in that space for so long and in so many ways, right? It has developed capacities in me that I would have never developed. It has allowed me to hold a space for sexual healing, sexual awakening, the sanctifying of sexuality, for sexual energy in a way that never would I ever developed those skills or those capacities had I not been called from this deep place in myself. Can you feel that? Can you feel that? Chiron's journey is that he becomes this incredibly wise. It's a wisdom keeper, right? Wisdom keeper, right? And it's medicine man, wisdom keeper, shaman. And it's because of the journey that he had to take to work on the things that he was called to work on, to focus on the things that he was called to focus on. So feel into your own life. And just when we can bring acceptance to our chironic journey, right? We suddenly glean these insights. Suddenly it's like, wow, I am so good at being a dietitian because I've struggled with weight loss. I've struggled with my own body. I've struggled with food. This has just been a struggle for me. And so I have consumed 55,000 books. I've taken 85,000 courses on. I am an expert on this because of a chironic karmic thing, right? So just feeling into that and letting that be part of your eclipse journey. I know this is now getting really complex, and I'm essentially trying to give you a workshop that you can guide yourself through during this eclipse season. But you can allow this, like, what have you had to work on? Have you had to work on self-love? Have you had to work on confidence? Have you had to work on health? Have you had to work on sexuality? Have you had to work on removing false masks? Have you had to work on boundaries? Have you had to work on, what have you had to work on? What have you had to work on? And how does that, feel into this, this is eclipse season, North Node. How does that fuel, guide, help, propel you into your true north? Can we deny less of our Chiron, less of the karma we came in with? So part of the Chiron journey is just radical acceptance of self, like radical acceptance. This is the family I was born into. It was perfect. This is the experience I had in this lifetime. It was perfect. I know some of us have had some really, 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 really horrific experiences. It's part of Chiron. It's part of the forgiveness. It's part of the acceptance. It's part of it. It's part of it. I know I might sound like that is so not compassionate at all. And it's a journey. Sometimes it's a lifelong journey, but it's Chiron, really, the wisdom of Chiron helps us to see that the karma is perfect, that everything, the divine orchestration is always happening. It's never not happening. It's never not happening. It's never not happening. It's never not happening. It's never, that's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard truth, right? That's high spiritual stuff. And if you're like, fuck you, Sabrina, I totally get it. I respect it, right? Anything that doesn't resonate with you, always, chuck it in the fucking bucket. Maybe it'll resonate later, maybe not. It's all good. Okay, so that's Chiron. Let me feel if there's anything else I want to share. Yeah, I'd love to talk a little bit about Jupiter. So Chiron's conjunct the sun. Jupiter's also conjunct the sun. Jupiter, grace-filled, benevolent, can bring good luck, also expanding things. So it expands this Aries energy, expands this full moon, expands the illumination, expands the Chiron. Jupiter sits right in between the sun and Eris, right? So kind of is pulling Eris into things. Eris is conjunct Vesta, priestess, focus, inner flame, sacred flame. Where are you called? Can you hear this theme repeating? Where are you called? What's your highest potential? True north, moving into destiny, right? Letting go of all the lower forms of self, all the karma, all the baggage, all the old stuff, right? I'm thinking of Pluto now, shifting into Aquarius, out of Capricorn, right? Letting all the old structures dissolve, and moving into the new. And so feeling into this Sun, Jupiter, Eris, in Aries, warrior, right? But now Eris being in this full moon brings in this element of divine chaos, right? Out of the chaos, perfection shall be created. It is out of the chaos that truth is revealed. That's Eris. Out of the chaos, I will create chaos, right? I will shatter things, destroy things, discord, chaos, in order that you get to the truth. Can you feel how that supports also this shadow work? This truth, true north, true self. What is your truth? And it is going to be punishing for the next couple of weeks. This full moon is gentle. That's my sense of this, is it is gentle for what's coming. It is gentle. It is going to be punishing and brutal. And so the more that we can just say, what is true for me? Oh, the far better we are going to fare during this. The further we're going to go, right? The more empowered we're going to be, the more fulfilled, the happier, the more joyful, the more smooth sailing this will be for us. But we have got to be honest. We have got to be honest, because we've got forces coming at us from all over the place of get real, sunshine. If you don't like your job, you got to own that you don't like your job. For instance, I don't like doing astrology videos. I got to own that I don't like doing astrology videos, right? Perfect timing on this. Perfect timing. The foundation, the structure no longer fits what my true genius is, what my true potential is, what I'm truly called to bring into the world. And so astrology videos have to go. That's one tiny example. It's such a good example right here. I'm in front of you, telling you this is no longer, cannot do this anymore. Too much truth coming at me. And it's for letting things go, death for a rebirth, Pluto, letting things go, right? For something truer to be created. The space, we've got to let the old die so that we have the space to let the truer thing come through, right? The truer thing come through of who we are now, who you've evolved to. Who you are now is not who you were 2 years ago. So maybe something in your life served 2 years ago and it doesn't anymore, right? Maybe it was so aligned 2 months ago and you're like, but it was so aligned. I loved it. Why isn't it working? Maybe it's not aligned anymore. Maybe there's something else for you to do. really honoring, I'm going to talk a little woo-woo for a moment. It's not woo-woo, whatever. We can call it that, but I'm going to talk new world, new earth, like new earth. I'm not going to go too far into this, but something that felt important to share in this conversation with you all in our final astrology video is new earth is here. New earth is here. And if you've heard me talk about this, part of the building of new earth is us standing in our unique geniuses so deeply, so truly, and allowing ourselves to create life from us standing so deeply, so truly in our unique genius, right? You in your unique genius, you in your unique genius, creating life from your truest, most alive, most on purpose aspect of self, like your most alive self, your most on purpose self, your most fired up self, right? Like that's new earth. That's if you're giving your greatest gift, I'm giving my greatest gift, person next to you is giving their greatest gift. How the hell will we not change everything? If it's truly my soul's greatest gift to give this world here is this, right? What? That's it. That's the whole thing. So, but I mean, going to the place of giving your greatest gift, that's not easy. Not everyone's going to do that. Most of the world's definitely not going to choose to go and do what is required to give their greatest gift. It is the great becoming. It's the great becoming. If you're interested in the great becoming, do the dragon sessions. Do the dragon sessions. Do that retreat with the descending energy, the rising energy. Like that dragon energy, it represents your full potential. And it's an energy you can work with. It's a sacred psycho-spiritual power, or the masculine and the feminine are already in union. That wakes up in you. And it is directly in correlation to your greatest potential in this life. You're the great becoming. You becoming it, right? And maybe it's not the dragon sessions. Maybe it's not working with me. Totally respect for that. But figure out what it is. Figure out what it is. Get off the pot. I don't know. Get off the pot. Get off the eggs you've been sitting out waiting to hatch and make a move. It's Aries season. We have to move. It's action. It's action. This is also going to bring up the stagnation. Scorpio is stagnation. Do not let energy stagnate. Keep it moving. Movement practices will be powerful. Keep fucking moving. Move the old stagnant energy out of the body. Go back to that practice I gave you at the start of the volcano or the tsunami. Move. Do the eclipse workshop. Do the shadow work workshop. Come join me for the dragon sessions, right? Get in there. Get deep. There's a lot to uncover right now, and it's going to be really crazy powerful. I love you all. These astrology sessions have been amazing. If you want to leave a note, I read everything the first couple of days after a video comes out. You know, just if you want to give a shout out for astrology love, or like, I'm going to miss it, or I'm so angry, Sabrina, go for it, right? I love hearing, I love being with you all, and it's a co-creation, and I'm grateful we get to do this. I'm going to be doing actually more podcasts, more YouTube videos, right? We're doing weekly. Every Thursday, there's going to be a rewilding video coming out. I just can't stay in the structure of new moon, full moon. It's jazzing me up, and it's limiting what it is that I want to bring through for you all. So I'm still here, and I'm actually going to be here even more than I have been before. So stick around, hang out, join me in the Facebook group if you want like more personal interaction. That kind of gets personal in there. It's like a little temple space in the Facebook group. We'll put links to that. The best video to watch, if you're like, wow, what's the next video that I want to watch? Creative Renaissance. Creative Renaissance. Like that was a video that talks about the energy of this year. And I did that at the beginning of this year. If you've watched it, could be great to review, especially with this eclipse energy coming up. So we'll put that video up next, and we'll put links up there. But that's a great thing to just continue to go right into. And then hopefully, well, if it's right for you, I'll see you in the eclipse workshop, shadow work workshop, and I'll see you in the dragon sessions. All right. I love you all so much. I will see you when I see you, where I see you, and how I see you. Mwah.